a world travel video from the Swiss collection.
Switzerland, an enchanting land of never-ending delights, majestic mountains and breathtaking scenery. Quaint towns and villages, world-famous cities, fascinating places to visit, popular winter sports, unusual musical instruments handcrafted the same way for centuries. World-class hotels. And quaint inns featuring mouth-watering national dishes. A rail system the envy of the entire world. Yes, Switzerland is a unique and historic blend of many traditions and cultures. On this trip, we'll enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of a small Swiss village located just 12 miles from the excitement of an alpine metropolis. Klosters and Davos are linked by ski lift, rail, and road. During our visit, we'll encounter the old-world charm of mountain inns, ski down Europe's most challenging runs, experience the ambience of world-class hotels and restaurants, ride on a horse-drawn sleigh through beautiful snow-covered meadows, and hang glide over majestic snow-capped peaks. All this and more is yours to enjoy on our Klosters Davos holiday. Switzerland is a small country in the southern part of Central Europe. It's surrounded by Italy on the south, France to the west, Germany to the north, and Austria and Liechtenstein on the east. Our destination, Klosters and Davos, are in southeast Switzerland, close to the Austrian border, and are just a few miles from the first winter capital of the world, St. Moritz. This region of Switzerland is known as Graubünden. Its cities and villages are linked by the Rhaetian Railway, which is one of 3 Swiss companies making up the famous Glacier Express. Any trip by train in Switzerland is an enjoyable experience. Indeed, transportation throughout Europe by rail is unsurpassed anywhere in the world. The Swiss railway system is widely considered the best there is. The Rhaetian Railway delivers us to our first stop, Klosters. Klosters is a small, picturesque ski resort nestled in a valley beneath towering snow-covered peaks. The Prodiga Valley is one of the most beautiful in the Grisons Alps region and is 1,200 meters above sea level. Klosters is famous for its mild climate and dry, fresh mountain air. It's a thriving village of about 3,500 people. That's not counting the many visitors such as screen stars, famous writers, and other assorted notables, and royalty, including regular visitors Prince Charles and Lady Di. Friendly residents, including colorful country folk wearing the local costume, add to the fairy tale-like atmosphere of this quaint alpine village. The countryside is dotted with clusters of picturesque chalets that look as though, if you were to lift their roofs, they'd play music. You have a varied choice of fine hotels for your stay here. All comply with the European star rating system, with 5 stars being the most luxurious and usually the most expensive. But no matter how modest your budget, you'll find all of them spotlessly clean and ready to treat you like one of the family. One of the most unique hotels in Klosters is the ABBA Health Hotel, a new 5-star hotel that provides more than the usual hotel format. But like all top hotels, the rooms here are spacious and elegantly designed, offering all the amenities you would expect. All 52 apartments are furnished in a subtle motif and have both a lounge area and a dining niche. From the balcony, there's a magnificent view of the entire mountain world of the Grisons. Even though the lifts to the ski areas are all within walking distance, most people take the free ski buses, which make regular runs between the lifts and the villages. On our first of 3 exciting days in Klosters, we'll get right to the major attraction, skiing. There are many possibilities. Within a stone's throw of the village are 24 mountain railways and ski lifts. And at the end of each lies some of Switzerland's best skiing. We'll take a gondola ride on the Madrissabahn, which leads up to an extensive area of intermediate skiing served by 5 lifts: Klosters, Sunshine, Balcony, and the Alps. After recently expanding its gondola capacity, the Madrissabahn has also opened a double T-bar drag lift. This has boosted capacity to more than 2,100 people per hour. This 100% increase in capacity means there's no waiting for transportation to the Upper Madrissa area. And the skiing's great. A restaurant at the top of the system is always full of people. It's a popular place to bring the children and to soak up a few rays. After a day on the slopes, back at the ABBA Health Hotel, we find out what its name is all about. The hotel's health center offers a variety of individual programs with different treatment facilities, including facials and professional makeup sessions to keep your skin looking natural and healthy. There's a fitness program for bodybuilding with a complete lineup of workout equipment. A popular way to end any good workout is with a relaxing massage, or with a soothing session in the whirlpool to help relax those stressed muscles. You can also relax by taking a leisurely swim in the cozy atmosphere of the excellent swimming pool. Of course, you can enjoy a swim whether you work out or not. There are also many other favorite activities after a day spent on the slopes. The après-ski bar in the Hotel Chesa Grishuna is a popular attraction for many tired skiers during the late afternoon. And Walter at the piano entertains with a variety of familiar and relaxing tunes. Next on the agenda, dinner. There are many outstanding restaurants in Klosters. Among the favorites of residents and visitors alike is the restaurant in the Hotel Valserhof. In fact, every night it's almost always booked solid. Featuring French specialties, proprietor and Chef Bayat Bollinger's outstanding and creative cooking results in first-class meals, nicely presented and attentively served. After a fine meal, your feet just naturally want to dance to the beat of the disco. And at the Funny Place, one of many clubs to enjoy during your stay in Klosters, there's always great entertainment and a compelling beat. The Funny Place offers a continuous schedule of some of Europe's finest entertainers. There are many special events such as costume balls, candlelight parties, and evergreen parties. On our second day in Klosters, we'll do some sightseeing and take a sleigh ride. Our first stop is the historic Protestant church situated in the oldest part of town. This section of the village was founded in the early 13th century. The church's beautiful stained glass windows were created by Augustus Giacometti. Now for an exciting ride through the snow-covered streets and hillsides in a horse-drawn sleigh. What an enjoyable way to get better acquainted with this colorful Swiss village and to enjoy the beautiful and majestic mountain scenery of Graubünden which surrounds it. Graubünden is the largest canton in Switzerland. Cantons are political geographic provinces somewhat analogous to states. And although Graubünden is the largest in size, it's the least densely populated. It also has the most forest areas and the most wildlife. Klosters is actually a collection of several tiny villages closely connected. There are 6 political divisions in all, with Klosters Platz being the geographical center. These sleigh rides are very popular excursions for nearly all visitors to Klosters, as well as convenient and thrifty transportation for locals. Next on our sightseeing schedule is a visit to a 300-year-old watermill just outside town. Built to mill barley, it's now no longer in use. However, the local people are still quite proud of it and always encourage guests to drop by for a visit. The Cultural History Museum at Klosters is our next stop. It provides an intriguing look at the past. It contains a private collection of old household utensils and furniture. There's a bedroom as it was in the 17th century, as well as the living room and kitchen. Wooden dinnerware and cooking utensils were common during this time. And every house had a spinning wheel which was used to make warm clothing. There's also an interesting antique shop, one of many in the area. Klosters was described by one American visitor as a village full of art galleries and expensive antique shops, an oasis in the Alps. Cowbells for centuries have been a necessity in Switzerland. Farmers have used them to locate their cows even in the mist of evening on the mountainsides. And in the summer, the valleys and mountains echo with a clanging and tinkling of bells in a variety of sizes and shapes. The bells are handmade by craftsmen such as Hans Manni, who has practiced his art in Klosters for a quarter of a century. Even the leather straps used with the bells are carefully crafted by hand. After getting metal parts for the bells from local blacksmiths, Mr. Manni spends several weeks engraving and painting them. The prices for these bells range from $150 to several $1,000s. Bell making is a handcraft that has been part of a Swiss tradition for centuries. Next, let's take a break for afternoon tea. The Aporta Tea Room is a very popular place to relax after shopping, skiing, or seeing the sights. It's well known for its cakes and pastries, and of course, its tasty variety of world-famous chocolates. The friendly service and pleasant surroundings make it a pleasurable time out from our day's activities. After our day of seeing the sights, we can unwind in any of several popular bars, all of them featuring convivial companions and interesting conversation. Most of it probably about skiing, of course. Topping off our second day, we'll sample another of the many fine restaurants in Klosters. You can choose from local specialties and gourmet menus from all over the world. And as you would expect, there's always a truly outstanding selection of fine wines. Cheers. On our third and final day in Klosters, we'll return to the slopes for some of Europe's most exciting skiing, the Gotchna Porcine area. The Gotchna cable system is right next to the train station. All of the ski areas are linked by train and bus, making skiing a very accessible sport. Skiers can leave their homes several miles away in their ski boots and be high in the mountains in no time. The Gotchna cable system has two sections, the second being much steeper, and the second car much smaller than the first. The cable car takes you from Klosters directly to the skiing area shared with neighboring Davos. This cable system is an important link to all of these ski areas. At the top, a restaurant provides good food as well as a good place to relax and enjoy the sun. It also provides an outstanding view of the scenery. From here, skiers ski down to a chairlift or to the Parsenhuta, which connects with Davos. Here at the Parsenhuta, you'll want to get your bearings as there are so many excellent slopes for skiers to choose from. A favorite with skiers is the 8-mile descent from the top of the Weissflue down to Kublis. This is said to be the longest ski run in Europe. The return ride from Kublis to Klosters is included in the Klosters Davos Regional Ski Pass, a must for all skiers. This pass also provides access to skiing in the Madrissa and in the Pisha, Jakobshorn, and Reinerhorn areas, also shared with neighboring Davos. We'll end our day with a visit to Cernoius, a quaint little village hidden away from the mainstream of skiers and visitors. Cernoius is actually one of 6 political entities which make up Klosters. Built around the area's hot sulfur springs, the Hotel Bad Cernoius is noted because of its health spa, complete with hot sulfur baths. These baths are very popular with the guest who can relax and enjoy the supposed medicinal effects of the hot sulfur water. Let's finish off the evening with a Swiss favorite, raclette and music. There's nothing quite like raclette. It's made by heating a cheese and then scraping it onto a plate. Served with a boiled potato, sweet pickles, and small onions, it's a delicious end to an exciting day. And now, on the first of 3 fun-filled days in Klosters' neighbor to the south, Davos, we'll take a tour of the area. Davos backs up to the same mountains as Klosters. And while Klosters gives you the relaxing atmosphere of a small mountain village, Davos, 12 miles away and more than 1,000 feet higher, is internationally known as Europe's city in the Alps. Davos is a world-renowned winter sports metropolis. It's the highest city in Europe and its largest mountain resort. With 12,000 residents, Davos is even larger than St. Moritz. Nestled among beautiful mountain terrain, Davos is a picture postcard of romantic wooded valleys, graceful mountain peaks, and clear blue skies. Davos is also famous for its curative climate. In fact, that's how Davos got started, as a health resort. At the turn of the century, tuberculosis was a major health problem, but a combination of Davos altitude, dry mountain air, abundant sunshine, and moderate air temperature made it possible to cure the disease. The climate is also excellent for asthma and many other respiratory conditions. In Davos, you'll enjoy an interesting mixture of rustic country inns, comfortable cafes, along with elegant restaurants, intimate bars, and the culture you would expect to find in a cosmopolitan city. There's also a large selection of excellent specialty shops, boutiques, and stores. Here you can dine French, Italian, Chinese, and Indonesian, or enjoy the local Davos cuisine. There are 2 sides to the town of Davos: Davos Dorf, literally the village, and the main city area, Davos Platz. The town is dominated by the steeple of a historic late Gothic church. The Church of St. Johann dates back to the 14th and 16th centuries. The large tower was built in 1481 and renovated in 1935. Its unusual spire is octagonal in shape, covered with shingles, and spirals to a height of 40 meters. It's particularly famous because of its slight twist, which was caused by an error during construction. Next to the church is the Davos Rathaus, or Town Hall. The original town hall burned down in 1559 and was reconstructed in 1564. During a stroll through Davos, you'll want to be sure and stop off by the chestnut stand. The Swiss name for chestnut is Maroni, and these hot delicacies are just right for an afternoon snack. Just up from Town Hall is the city post office, which is artistically decorated with large murals typical of the Graubünden region. Bus service in Davos is excellent, but for those who like the unusual, horse-drawn carts are also a popular form of transportation. In addition to being famous as Europe's winter sports metropolis, Davos has recently earned international recognition through its annual World Economic Forum, which draws heads of state and other leading political and economic figures from all over the world. Davos has also become a leading research center with several institutes. These include the Snow and Avalanche Institute at the top of the Weissflujak. Davos will soon be celebrating its 100th ski season. The first was in the winter of 1894, when a famous Englishman by the name of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, author of the Sherlock Holmes novels, tried his luck skiing from Davos over the Furka Pass, some 9,000 feet high, down to the Valley of Arosa. It took Doyle and several local adventurers 2 days to complete the trip. Now, nearly 100 years later, there can hardly be another winter sports resort offering such a unique mixture of sun and snow and natural beauty. And you'll probably never have to wait for a ride to the skiing areas. In the combined Klosters Davos region, there are more than 53 transport facilities with a capacity of more than 48,000 persons per hour. There's alpine skiing for all styles from December to the end of April. And if you like this type of skiing, the Rinderhorn is one of several areas you'll want to tackle. You'll find demanding and difficult slopes for advanced skiers and the professional, as well as a variety of medium and beginner slopes. The children also have special kinder slopes just for them, and they seem to have a great time. Davos has devoted a tremendous effort to make winter sports affordable to all. Nearly 200,000 visitors from more than 40 countries enjoy this winter paradise each year. And with its long, gentle valleys, it's no wonder that Davos is a mecca for cross-country skiers. There are more than 50 miles of well-prepared trails across stunning scenery. These attract skiers of all speeds. Ice skating is a popular sport all over Europe. And here in Davos, you'll find the largest natural ice rink in the continent and the fastest ice. There are separate sections for figure skating, speed skating, hockey, and Bavarian curling. There's also a magnificent sports stadium, which is widely considered to be an architectural masterpiece. Davos is the unchallenged leader of European ice sports. Many exciting events take place here, including the annual Spengler Cup competition. Indeed, in this area, the Swiss are fanatics about ice hockey. And of course, when Davos plays arch-rival Klosters, nearly everybody turns out. The action on the ice gets hot and heavy. So does the action in the stands. The winner of this tradition-filled match gets the bragging rights until the next time, when the loser gets another chance to redeem themselves. The Davos Tennis and Squash Center was completed in December of 1985. There are 2 squash courts and 4 tennis courts. This modern facility is very popular with visitors and locals alike. Now let's spend the afternoon on the Davos side of the Persen ski area. Davos lies at one end of a valley between 2 mountain chains. One of these chains, the Strela, is dominated by the Weissflujak, a mountain pass nearly 9,000 feet high. The open, sun-bathed slopes of this range provide the magnificent skiing that attracts ski fans from all over the world. We get to the Weissflujagd Pass on an unusual train system called a funicular. There are two trains which run on a cable. The system utilizes gravity to counterbalance the cars. As one goes up, the other comes down. Once at the top, we can ski down over vast open slopes to the town, a drop of 3,500 feet. Of course, such skiing requires proper preparation, sunscreen to cover the entire face, which may require imaginative measures for proper application. Even if you don't ski, people watching's fun. And it's always a good idea to know where you are. A photographic record of the event is popular when you get back home. And of course, skiing technique is the all-important ingredient. And we see a wide variety of styles. Many famous writers have spent time in Davos, including Robert Louis Stevenson, who, in his Essays on Travel, wrote about the 2 winters he spent here more than 100 years ago. Stevenson described Davos as a village of hotels. Here you'll find modern hotels as well as old world establishments. More than 100 hotels in all, plus many apartments, private flats, and highly specialized sanatoriums can easily house more than 20,000 visitors. And all with the kind of service you would expect from a country noted for its excellent service and spotless accommodations. The magnificent Belvedere in Davos Platz is one of several 5-star hotels in the city. It's a world-class luxury establishment in the elegant tradition of the grand hotels of Europe. The large, tastefully decorated rooms are modern and inviting, yet manage to retain a warmth reminiscent of stately hotels of the past. The view from your balcony is unforgettable. It's a relaxing place to drink in the beauty of your surroundings. In the hotel's bar, there's a striking mural which adorns the ceiling. The Four Seasons, famous throughout Graubünden, was painted by Romansh artist Caraget in the early 1900s. Even if you're not an avid swimmer, you won't want to miss the beautiful swimming pool. It's a classic. Its lovely wall murals provide the feeling of swimming in a tropical mountain glade. We'll start our second day in Davos with a ride up to the Jakobshorn ski area, which can be reached by cable car and ski lifts. There are 3 cable cars, 8 ski lifts, and 1 chairlift. The view of the surrounding mountain scenery is breathtaking. The entire transport system can handle 8,500 persons per hour. There's even a winter kindergarten for children aged 3 to 10 years. and sometimes they can show some of the older folks a thing or two. But there's more than skiing up here. There's also hang gliding. The Jakobshorn area is a favorite takeoff point for this sport. Menga Guler is a nurse, a rather appropriate occupation for someone who does this sort of thing, and she and several of her nurse friends come out for hang gliding fun on their days off. First, they prepare their gliders for flight. Then, they wait until the wind's just right. Usually, you'll find Manga and her glider Pinky first off the slope. And when someone's hang gliding, all skiers and everyone else stop to watch. However great hang gliding may be, the most popular activity around here is still skiing. A favorite stop on the Jakobshorn is the Ich Alp restaurant, which is one of 6 restaurants and 7 sun terraces on the mountain. The view of the Alps from here is magnificent, especially as the sun goes down over the mountains. We'll end our second day in Davos with dinner at an Italian restaurant, followed by a visit to a disco. The Trattoria is a popular place with the in-crowd. For a restaurant, you can call it unique, bizarre, or original. But whatever you call it, it is different. There are even wall murals depicting the owner toasting the Mona Lisa. After dinner, it's time for a little disco at the Cabana Club. This spot is quite popular with the young people of the area. It's been known to be a bit risque and the scene of some crazy evenings. After a night on the town, a good way to start the day is walking. And Davos is a walker's paradise. The Hoya Promenade, which is literally the high walk, is one of Davos' numerous scenic walking areas. It's popular with skiers and non-skiers alike. It provides a good outing for anyone who wants the exercise. It also provides outstanding views of Davos and the surrounding area. In all, there are 38 miles of cleared, well-kept walks and mountain trails. On some of them, you might even run into wildlife along the way. Sometimes you can even spot a deer. The people of this region are very conservation conscious, and many areas are marked as protected zones for wildlife. In these forest areas, skiing is strictly forbidden. Now let's visit one of the oldest and most unique health and ski areas in the region, Strela. We get there on a funicular which originated in 1898 under the influence of tourism pioneer Willem Jan Holzboer. At the top, you'll find a variety of interesting sights and places to visit, including a traditional outdoor mountain restaurant which caters to skiers, walkers, and tobogganers. And speaking of tobogganers, there's also a fully prepared toboggan run with some 20 well-banked and well-maintained turns. And the snow's good and soft. Oh, a little bumpy. In all, it's a mile and a half of pure, sheer terror. There's also a unique restaurant, Snow Beach, an outdoor luncheon restaurant. It's a great place to enjoy lunch or a drink in the noonday sun and get a tan while you're at it. Because of the altitude and the reflection of the snow, the rays of the sun work faster. The restaurant is part of one of the finest and most unique hotels in the area, the 4-star Berghotel Schatzalp, a mountain hotel built in 1900 shortly after the opening of the funicular. It stands at 6,200 feet in a sunny and very quiet position with a fine view. Mr. Albrecht, the concierge, has been serving hotel guests for more than 28 years and is a well-known and friendly face in the hotel. There are 108 bedrooms furnished in a style reminiscent of a bygone era. Many of them feature a unique and practical item from the past. A bed warmer. These cloth sacks are filled with cherry stones, which are left inside large iron radiators during the day. They retain their warmth throughout the night. Built at the turn of the century as a hospital, since 1953, the Schatzalp has been a popular and very successful Grand-style hotel. The hotel's historical hall vividly depicts the art and architecture of the Victorian age. During our visit to this exciting winter sports paradise, like all other tourists, our cameras have recorded a variety of scenic delights, and some not quite so graceful. But the memories we've captured of our holiday will always leave us wanting more of this fascinating and beautiful winter paradise in the sun, Klosters Davos.
Now enjoy an exciting preview of other world travel videos available in our Swiss collection. Autumn in the Alps, one of nature's most beautiful shows. And in the Alps of Switzerland, the show is at its very best. It's absolutely breathtaking. From the grandeur of snow-capped peaks to the colorful autumn coats worn by stately firs dotting the countryside, Switzerland delights the traveler's eye with a tableau like no other in the world. In the next few minutes, you'll enjoy a sample of this feast, the Matterhorn and other majestic peaks, a trip across the top of the Alps on the Glacier Express, quaint villages and towns, and special places of interest. All this and more awaits as we visit Switzerland for Autumn in the Alps. Switzerland might well be called the international railway junction of Western and Central Europe because so many mainline international expresses link it with all its neighbors and more distant countries. At the top end of the scale, the Palace Hotel here in Stade offers indoor and outdoor pools, sauna, dancing, gardens, and all the amenities. You'll find both luxury and superb Swiss service, unequaled anywhere. Innumerable inns and small restaurants all over the country do a thriving trade with local patrons who know that one can enjoy a local specialty dish here. Many popular regional dishes relished for centuries in farmstead kitchens now appear on the best menus. Winter in Stade will also help you find romantic adventure. And for those of you who enjoy observing the serene beauty of Switzerland from high above, World Travel Video takes you on a ballooning adventure you'll never forget. Switzerland is also a land of rolling wine country, a land whose wines are among the most unique and interesting in the world. And each fall, the Swiss observe the start of the grape harvest with a series of colorful, fun-filled celebrations that are one of the world's best-kept secrets, the wine and the wine festivals of Switzerland.
World Travel Video invites you on a personal excursion to the birthplace of downhill skiing, the Alps of Switzerland. Join a potpourri of superb skiers from around the world as they sample Switzerland's best skiing and leading winter resorts. Ski Switzerland will take you to Stade, Zermatt, Davos, Wangen, and many other world-class ski resorts. During the next few minutes, we will climb a portion of the Matterhorn's lower Hernley Ridge in search of virgin snow slopes. Take a breathtaking helicopter adventure over the roof of the Alps. Delve into the exciting realm of skiing for the world-class skier in you. Ski Switzerland.
Christmas in Zermatt will wind you through picturesque mountain pastures and deep-sided mountain valleys aboard this spectacular mountain railway. Zermatt is a car-free city. Transportation is by horse-drawn sleigh. Travel to the town is by one of the frequent electric trains from Tosh, just 3 miles away. Zermatt is the leading winter sports capital in the Valais, offering skating, skiing, climbing, and the lesser-known sport of curling. Watch as these players push their stones, which are 40-pound granite blocks with metal handles, toward the center of the target area. Christmas in Zermatt, a warm, festive time of the year. And what a wonderful place to bring about memories you will cherish forever. No better place than in the heart of the Alps.